All right. Welcome into the booth here on PHL 2. Huge night of Division 1 action ahead of us. I'll be with you for both of the Ottawa Drifters games tonight. I'm going to be solo. My name is Flyfire if you haven't heard me before, but I have a feeling most of you have been yelled at by me before, so shouldn't be too unfamiliar. But yeah, as I said, we got 4 D1 matches tonight. It's going to be a long night for these teams, and none more so than the Ottawa Drifters and the Vincennes Vickers. This first match will be between Ottawa and the Southampton Seagulls, Demidov's team. Of course, we got Ottawa in the red, Southampton in the blue. Ottawa obviously hasn't played yet. Seattle, I knew that was going to happen. Southampton played the Hooks on Tuesday. They came away with a split in games, but a bit of an advantage in points, picking up 4 of the 6 total. Close run affair against what many are calling one of the best D1 teams, but this is so hilariously wide open in D1. There really isn't a bad team. Every single team is dangerous. Every single team can win. It really isn't like the past 2 seasons, which have seen, a couple of those teams tail off pretty much immediately after the draft. Everyone is a threat. It's going to be terrifying to see. Ottawa has been kind of, from what I've heard, there's a bit of doubt around this team. I believe it was a very good draft from Zub. Picked up some offensive weapons in Glenski and Hijinks. Has himself on defense. And probably the biggest wild card of that draft, his first round pick, Guy, Ferdinand Glubbins on the ice. Kind of throws in a whole new dimension to how this team is looking to play. They're planning on being very rotational. Zub kind of preached that with the Sparks of last season. And that team found significant success. So he's going to try and kind of replicate that same formula with a squad of players that are absolutely smart enough and capable enough to do just that. Going up against them, the Southampton Seagulls are kind of a bunch of newer players in the context of D1, obviously. Bagel and Demidov, Doug and Michkov. And these guys are more than a threat for anyone. Like, Bagel he's in the argument for best player in the game, period. When you're starting to be put in the same conversations as Meat Sale and Juice, it says a lot about how good this player is and how well he is regarded among the upper echelons. Demidov is a very promising talent. Same with Michkov, and they're kind of backed up by Doug, that veteran presence on the back end. And in net, St. Walls, who, coming into the draft, I don't think anyone expected to even play goalie, but he picked it up again, was immediately elite at it, has one of the best, most active sticks of any goalie in the game today. He is fantastic at what he does. Gotta make sure that the setup for this is all in order. Noticing we still have that warm-up bit dropping down. We should be getting close to showtime. It is 7:31. We have all the players in the lobby, so we're just waiting for them to warm up. We're probably going to have to do a very quick changeover from game 1 to match 1 to match 2 tonight. Seeing as Ottawa's in both, they're going to be rushing to get that second match played. I would imagine there would be a bit of leeway given. These games almost never take the 30 minutes that they're allotted. It's usually closer to 45, so I'm sure they'll be given some time to get over to that game. We're getting the last checks that everyone's good to go here. I'm good to go up in the booth. Our technical director and head of production, Log, was phenomenal today in helping get these streams set up and going, especially for someone like me who does not have a lot of experience being a technical director. But we are ready to go, and the puck drop commences for game 1. Ottawa versus Southampton, and immediately Hijinks dangles, deeks, and shoots off the side of the net. A dangerous start for Ottawa. Demidov, looking to respond in kind, just dumps it in. Ottawa will be given a chance to reset. Pass across to Glenn, intercepted by Doug. He's got Mitch inside. The chip pass goes over the stick of Mitchkov. He reads Zub's turn pretty well. Breakout, not exactly what Ottawa's looking for there. Not the greatest execution on that pass from Hijinks, and it costs them possession. Bagel, good job not falling into that trap that Glenn was setting. Pass down low to Demidov. Looking for a shot, blocked by Zub. This game will be flying across the ice. You have 8 players who can nail passes anywhere within the 200 feet of this rink. Guy fires one towards the net. Hijinks can't find the tip. Demidov drop pass to Doug behind his own net. Seagulls will reset. Mitchkov pulling away the defense. There's a bump on Zub, leaving Bagel open. They go for the long shot, and John's able to knock that one away. And knocked away fully by a guy out of the zone. Demidov comes in. Pass behind the net to Bagel. Looking for Mitchkov. Good block there by the Drifters to knock this one away. But opening stages, the first 2 minutes or so, already gone. And Southampton's looking dangerous. You know, we had that opening salvo from Hijinks. But since then, there hasn't been much of anything going for the Drifters, I should say. Zub looking for a hit. It's just dumped down, and Bagel's going to win the race to this. John D had the option to come out and play it. He opts not to. Good setup on the defensive end from the Drifters, and they'll be rewarded for that with a clear. They come in so patient. They're not rushing to their positions. They're considering all the options that the Seagulls could have. They want to take those away. Fired down to Mitchkov, who... Really, Mitchkov, whenever they have the puck, he's in the O-zone. Demidov will win this race. Could be a good rush chance. Cuts across the middle. Looking for the pass to Bagel. Goes into the corner. And they've done a good job of shutting down another push by the Seagulls. Dug down low. Glenn across to Hijinks. That pass will get through. Zub tailed off from the attack. Hijinks doesn't have any options. He'll take a weak shot. Knocked aside by Walls. That one was going wide anyways. Mitchkov through the middle. The Gulls attempt to get the game's first goal. It's a bit of an error from Mitchkov. He tried to get that shot off and just kind of rushing it a bit. Bagel cutting through like a knife through butter. Couldn't find the finishing touches. Mitchkov pivot behind the net, and a bit of chaos from the Drifters here. But you notice during that whole sequence, big hit there Well, actually gained Doug possession and a shot. You notice during that entire sequence there that the Seagulls were very careful not to send 3 players. They only had Bagel and Mitch in the zone. The other 2 were up top waiting for a counterattack. We'll have to see if that attitude changes as this game goes on. If they're going to be as passive as they were there. It almost worked, to be fair. That's how talented Bagel and Mitch are. Demidov with time. Quite a bit of space. He's going to look to break out to Bagel, but that one cut off. Hijinks across to Glenn. Has Guy backing him up. Takes it to the corner and rips a shot that is knocked aside by Walls. Sharp angle shot, not much of a threat. That one's a bit more threatening, but it's still wide. Zub, nice juggle in the corner, pokes it forward, but Demidov cuts him off. Michkov looking for any kind of space in the neutral zone. Doug with a 3-man press from the Seagulls. Shot on. Jondi makes a stop. Probably the best chance of the game for either team so far. Will end the first period of play. What is that emoji? Katie, what did you send? I don't even know if I want to know. I'm trying to look on my phone, and it's like the smallest thing ever. And I'm a referee, so I can't see shit anyways. Getting started and on to the second period in game 1. I know on the other stream, they managed to change that little scroll text underneath the score bug to the first game score, which was pretty cool. Bagel, that's on the goal line. It's just sitting there. No! Oh, no! This is absolutely heartbreaking. It hits the post, knocked down, and Jondi inadvertently tiger stance jumps out of the net and can't get back to it. What a first goal in this game. Bagel finds it. Prince with a better call than I could manage. You could say that it drifted in. Well, I don't know if that's better. I'll give him the benefit. Bagel with a nice bat as the Seagulls start off hot. Michkov beats his man. Shot on off the post. They're looking to take advantage. Doug commits. Could be a counterattack chance here for the Drifters. They skipped the pass, though. That pass has got to go to Guy, I think. They tried to go over the top to Hijinks instead. Little bit rushed from both teams there. But no punishment yet. Michkov in again. Backdoor feed off the post for a second time. So many chances for Southampton. Glenski not even looking to calm this game down. Ottawa wanted to strike back. A multitude of chances on net. Another great touch from Michkov. The Russian kinda messes that one up after the fact. Demidov, good patience. Cuts in! Almost a goal from Demidov. The goals are firing on all cylinders. Hijinks. Backdoor. Can't really get to this puck. You see Glenn up top looking for a pass. Opens up some space for Hijinks. Could be a little bit of space to wheel. That shot knocked aside by Walls. The one thing Walls does so well in net is he tracks that puck brilliantly with his stick. It's always just a little bit off to the side. As soon as it comes within range, it's knocked to a corner. It's exactly what you want to see out of your goaltender. Demidov in. John flips it. It doesn't really go anywhere, unfortunately. It looked like a good flick from where we were. Glenn down low. Stops. He has hijinks. Wanted the pass to him. Could be a counterattack. It's a bit of a 2-on-1. Demidov inside. Shot saved by John. Great positioning from one of the game's finest. Zub actually tailed off. He had a chance to go for that puck. Relinquishes possession to the Seagulls. Double drop. Back to Doug. Inside to Bagel. Looking for Mitch. Slight miscommunication there. But Bagel will keep it for the Seagulls. They are dominating possession so far. Feels very one-sided. Another chance here. Demidov off the pads. Had Mitchkov backdoor, but wanted to sneak it 5-hole. Good block by Zub on the follow-up. Hijinks in. 1-on-1 against Demidov. The hands are moving well, and that's a goal. What a shot from Hijinks. Pulled the defender away with some slick hands. And you can see Walls in net still trying to find that stick swipe. But it's such a well-placed shot that the timing is just a little bit off. Just enough to be effective. We got a 1-1 hockey game here. Ottawa finds their first goal of the season, courtesy of Hijinks. The momentum shifts a little over the midway mark in this game. Hijinks again. Back to Guy. He wants to cut through the middle. It's flipped over. I was watching the scrim between Ottawa and the Hooks before this game, and one big thing I noticed was Guy does not have a huge amount of possession time on this team. Zub tends to carry the puck out of the zone for them more often than not. Guy kind of acts as a support role for him, which he is more than capable in. But I would like to see him with the puck just a little bit more for the Drifters here. Zub takes it. Flips it deep into the zone. They'll play dump and chase here, and Glenn will win the race. Shot wide of the net. Zub keeps it at the blue line, but only for a split second. Guy is back for it. He'll launch it into the zone. Knocked away by Demidov. They want to keep possession, does Ottawa, but they won't have another chance at the net. Period 2 comes to a close. And you can see, I'm trying to highlight the possession time difference here. Guy has only had the puck for 15 seconds in this game. Possession numbers, a little bit, not even really even on the Seagulls side. But I feel like they're moving the puck quite a bit better. I would like to see, I am using a mod that kind of screws with Delph's mod a little bit, so I can't see the team possession numbers. But I think the goals are ahead by a little bit in that department. Demidov over to Bagel. Difficult catch, but he does well to get it past Zub. And he's in on Guy on a 1-on-1. Cuts to the inside. Doug will retain possession. Pass down low, but a miscommunication means that they get a little bit caught, but the clearing pass is not on target. And Glenn kind of gets beat a little bit there on the turn. Able to recover, and that's... Oh, no. Oh, it does go off a Bagel's stick. So I'll give Bagel the benefit of the doubt here. If he gets that tip fully, then that's a beautiful play. But I think it gets more of Guy's stick. In any case, it's 2-1 for the Seagulls. I really don't know. Like, it definitely hits Bagel's stick, but it looked like it was a lot more of the touch from Guy that sent that one careening in. Just unfortunate luck again on both of these goals. There's really nothing Chondi can do on either of them. He's just sitting and watching it go by. Bit of a misplay here from Doug on defense. We'll see if the Drifters can capitalize. A good shot just over the net. Guy down low. Works it across to Zub. Both defensemen activating for the Drifters. Guy turns. Has Glenn as an option. Opts to fire it over. They'll keep possession. Going for a Halifax Hook style play over the net. Doesn't quite work. And it'll eventually be cleared out. Katie, you might want to find a different game to play if you're playing this one this much. Probably unhealthy. Guy comes in. Drop pass. Doesn't find Zub. Only 3 minutes left for the Drifters to find a second goal and tie this one up. Good save by Walls, clearing it all the way down to the Drifters' end of the ice. Tip shot saved. That one launched a bit more vertically, but it's still cleared out nonetheless from the Seagulls. Walls with 4 saves. He hasn't been nearly as busy as John, who has 8 saves. But he's been performing well. Actually, identical save percentages for these goalies. It's just been the lack of shots on target for the Drifters. Move down low to Zub. Bagel kind of panicked on that one. It could be a chance. Hijinks. Such a difficult shot. He wasn't able to make contact before Walls. Seagulls will move down low. Bagel out in front. Caught by Mitch. Moves it back to Bagel. What a passing play. Johnny was there to make the stop once again. He's had a great game in net. The 2 that beat him just really weren't his fault. Hijinks. Pass. Good block by Mitchkov. Moves it through the middle across the blue line. Pass across to Bagel. Looking for his options. He's going to elect to take this one himself. And why not with his level of skill? Shot on, just wide. Demidov, chip. Wants to cut in himself. Has Mitchkov backdoor. Shot on. Saved by Jondi. Demidov again. Moving through. Keeping possession. 1 minute left to go in the third. And the Drifters still down. Jondi has to make another nice stop. Doug moves it low. Chip to the middle. But they already have 3 defenders back. Zub beats one of them. Could be a chance to go backdoor. Wants the drop pass to Guy, but he's just not in that spot anymore. It's a little bit of a late call, perhaps, from Zub. And that buys even more time for the Seagulls. They only have to kill 25 more seconds to get away with a regulation win here in Game 1. Demidov ragging the puck behind his own net. He'll turn back once again. Doug coming back for support. It's up the middle, though. Hijinks, last chance here for the Drifters. Looking for the pass. Guy, saved by Walls. It's cleared out, and that will be the win in Game 1 for the Southampton Seagulls. 2-1 in regulation. Beautiful save right at the buzzer. A dangerous play from Demidov, almost costing them the regulation win. But no harm, no foul when you got Walls in net. Bagel with 2 goals in that game. Assists evenly spread across the board. Hijinks with the only response for the Ottawa Drifters. I apologize too for the scoreboard is not color-coded very clearly. Red is blue and blue is red, but it's good enough. And Katie is pink, obviously. $15 more seconds, and then we'll get going for game number 2 of this 2-game set. Southampton still yet to suffer a regulation loss in this season. have a feeling that'll be a theme. They're such a difficult team to compete with. And just to score goals on. They're so good, especially Demidov, at holding possession, keeping that puck under wraps. And the offensive skill and awareness from the other three, and Demidov obviously, really makes it so that it's so difficult to get the puck back whenever you do give it up. And Ottawa, it's been their one struggle, is they're just kind of giving the puck away a little bit too much with a lot of these clearing passes that don't quite find what they're looking for. Hijinks pass across to Glenn. Overskates that one. He should be able to keep that puck. Ottawa will keep possession. This guy moves it up. Part of me wants to try and put the score from the first game up on that little scroll bar. The other part of me realizes I don't know how to do that. I don't want to wreck the stream trying to figure it out. So we're going to leave it as is. Zub's cut through the middle of the ice. Didn't yield any results. He still has this puck, though. Pass to Glenn is on target. He can't get around Michkov. Hijinks pass through the middle. Finds Zub. I thought it was a bit of an errant pass, but it works out. The shot saved by Walls. Guy puts it down low. Michkov coming the other way. First shot of the game goes to Ottawa. That'll be a welcome sign as that one goes off the post from Michkov. I couldn't tell if Johnny got a piece of it. Doesn't look like it because he isn't being credited with a save. Hijinks with this puck. Launched up the middle. Guy, chip. Beautiful. Looking for the juggle. Still has that passing option. And Glenn, Guy got that puck back. And Glenn, doing the right thing, started to go back on defense. But Guy fought well for that puck and almost had that chance. Michkov breaking up the line of defenders off the post again, and it's in! Once more they capitalize on the goal line. It's Bagel's third of the night and first in game 2. That shot from Michkov just plants itself on the post and falls in a heap on the goal line to be put away from Puck's darling Bagel. And Michkov does such a good job on that play of breaking up the defensive line. You notice that Ottawa had their 3 defenders spread out horizontally pretty much along the top of the circles. So Michkov just very slightly slows down, cuts in, and opens up that passing lane above the defenders, breaks in, and creates that chance. Such a heads-up play from him to get open for Bagel and cause that goal to happen. Demidov chips it out. Michkov with Bagel on the far side. That passes, well, just a bit outside. John, active stick, restricts the passing options. Michkov hits the deck. Good breakout pass. It's just cut off by Doug. Ottawa might have to tighten up their game just a little bit. They want to go for some of these stretch passes, and that can work. But at the moment, it's just kind of being shut down by the close defense of Doug and Demidov. Zub, good awareness, putting it to Hijinks on the backside. He has Glenn up same. Doug, he commits again, but that time Glenn turned around and was able to break down the defense a little bit more. Chance for the Drifters here. They break into the zone. Zub trying to fake out Bagel, but he didn't fall for it. Keeps possession. That one knocked up to Guy. Look for the shot. Saved by Walls. Good stint on offense there from Ottawa. And a much better breakout play than we have seen up to this point. Zub on his own. Cut off again by Bagel. So difficult to get around that guy. Michkov shot just a little bit wide. John had the net covered well. Bagel. Pass over to Demidov. Wants to cut inside. Zub does a good job of defending it. Doesn't give him the angle on net that he wanted. Doesn't commit too hard. It's almost enough for Demidov to get a shot off, but not quite. 5 seconds left in this first period. Doug will fire it up. And the Southampton Seagulls come away with the lead after one. Off of a Bagel goal, his third of the game. Which I believe puts him at 5 already for the season. He's going to be in the running. They rely on him a lot for the kind of the goal scoring on this team. Admittedly, all 3 of his goals haven't really been highlight goals in the usual sense. They're more greasy goals, 2 poke-ins on the goal line and a tipped puck. But that's what you need from your players, Your forwards just have to find a way to put the puck in the net. And especially capitalizing on opportunities created from your teammates. It is absolutely huge for Bagel to have. Guy gathers this puck, launches it down. Double coverage. Zub with the bat almost found Twine. He has it behind. Over the top. It's on the net. Knocked away. They'll opt to slow this game down. Will the Seagulls. Looking down. Same boards. Michkov. Again, great job finding an open lane to get that pass. Even while he was covered by a guy. Takes it around the net. Well, he was going to if Glenn didn't take it away. That one up the middle. St. Walls. Good activity. Good chip by Bagel, but cut off by Guy and Zub. Good job by Guy taking the body on that play. Zub. Oh, that one's read by Demidov. The cut outside completely shut down. But Bagel's a little bit flat-footed. The pass outside, knocked away by Mitch. Guy still has this puck. Ottawa looking to tie this game up at 1. Bagel with it. Looking for his options. Pass inside is beautiful. Michkov finishes it off. The 2-on-1 play is kind of feels like a guaranteed goal sometimes for these guys. Look at that. He fakes the shot off of the tilt of his stick and just feeds it to Michkov back door. 2-0 for Southampton. Spot on, Bad Santa in the chat. Exactly that. Got the defender to commit to that shot. Opened up that lane, and John Dee's committed to the shot anyways. As he should be. But Bagel, that's just the touch that this guy has. Another shot on John. That one saved. John Dee has faced a lot of rubber tonight. There hasn't been a whole lot of respite back there in the Ottawa net. Hijinks works at low. Zub didn't have enough room to turn in front of the net there. He's got the room now. Doug closes off that space quickly. Guy, pass across. Zub. Oh, he beats his man. He's in 2-on-1 the other way. Wanted Hijinks back door, but he tried to rush it just a little bit when he beat that defender. Good job by Glenn on defense. Shutting down Michkov long enough for the defenders to get back. Guy has options. It's a 2-on-1 if they can find this pass. Guy to Glenn. That was Zub that passed it up. Sorry, not Guy. But the puck will be cleared out no matter who on Ottawa has it. Zub circles back, wanting some options. He just doesn't have any. There's a hit at the very least from Guy. But they already had 3 people back. And Guy takes himself out of that play with that hit. It doesn't really fix that man advantage issue. Shot from Bagel over the net. Michkov Behind the back, almost beat Guy, but he's able to recover. Glenn fires it up the middle. Demidov with time. Just control this puck. Gives it to Mitch. Cross, cut off by Glenn. Bagel should be able to win this race. And they'll try and take away his space. Zub does well there. Zub is one of the best players in this game in all four corners of the rink. He understands spacing so well, he's able to cut off any attempt to get around him. There's another one there where he just shuts down Michkov. And on offense, good luck taking the puck from him. The guy is a 50 machine. Good pass to the middle, but not a lot on that shot from Bagel. Demidov behind the back. Cut off by Guy. Breakaway here for Glenn. Needs this goal. Off the post and in. Glenn finds it. They claw one back from Southampton. Beautiful pass up from Guy. Glenn goes backhand, forehand, off the post and in. And John D picking up the assist on that one as well. Shout out John D. Gets a little bit of a reward for all of his work in net tonight. 15 seconds left in the second. Ottawa has managed to make this a one-goal game going into the final frame. We'll see if there's one more chance on net. Is anyone telling Zub of the time? He's got enough. Backdoor. Hijinks spin. Shot wide anyways. It was after the buzzer. And we will get a substitution late from Southampton. The last period of this game, Michkov will come off. He left the server entirely, so I assume he has to go. And player 43 will come on to replace him. And that is absolutely no change in the amount of talent on the ice when player 43 is out there. Hijinks coming down. He had a goal in the first game off of a play similar to that, but that one goes wide. Bagel up to Demi. Demi through the middle, being tracked by Zub, but he gets body position. Wants that backdoor pass. You could really tell that he wanted to give it to player there. Michkov does hop back in the server, so this might just be getting player 43 some ice time here. Good on you. Bagel has two options on the long pass, tipped on by Zub, and John does well to get that one out of harm's way. Bad Santa pleading with me to get Toronto on the phones. We've had a couple of close ones. I think that first goal in the first game was also just barely across the line. I'm going to give the same answer that I give to the youth hockey coaches that I ref. Yeah, I'm just not in a great spot to see that, you know? I can't tell. Player 43 behind the net. Tried to back pass it to Bagel, but it's cleared out by Glenn. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Demidov looking for a player, wanted the tip. Bagel around. This should be Hijinks' puck. Back pass to Zub. Gets around player 43. Has a little bit of room. Pass over the top. Tipped on net. Demidov and Doug went down there. It's off the pads of Walls and cleared away. Glenn's able to keep the puck, though. Trying to move it anywhere but where it is. Good stick from Guy, but it doesn't relieve the pressure for long. Bagel's back shot, saved by John. Demidov down low, wanting to chase this puck down. Around the other corner, Bagel takes it inside off the side of the net. Player straight back out. Good tip back to Doug. Shots wide, but not quite close enough to be cleared out by John. Tips on the goal line again, and it just trickles wide. Chaos in the end. of the Ottawa Drifters. They can't get this puck. Finally, Guy will win a race. But it's just given right back to Bagel. He wins the 50. Can't control the puck, though. He healed it just a little bit. Demidov will keep it, though. Another 2-on-1 here. That shot tipped over the net. Player 43 back. 2 minutes left. Ottawa needs a goal, and right now they can't even get possession. Fired down once more. These long passes are absolutely stifling any hope that Ottawa has. They go for one of their own, but it's blocked by Bagel. Hijinks up the middle. Doug takes over. Chipped over. Hijinks has it. Wants to move this puck. It's cut down to the inside. Doug through the middle. Wants the shot saved by John D. Rebound saved as well. A couple of nice saves from John D., who has faced, I think, about 26 shots tonight. And he's made some great saves. Zub wants to move this in. One chance to try and find a goal with a minute remaining in the third period. Zub chips out in front. Bagel knocks it aside. 2-on-1 the other way now. Bagel hands it off to player. Chipped over top. Wants the shot. It's just wide. Guy will win the race, but he won't get the puck. Doug's in off the post. 35 seconds now. Can they move it down the ice and try to tie this game up? Hijinks wants Zub backdoor. He'll go for the shot. It's tipped over the top. I think Wall's got a piece of that. Glenn can't win the 50. Bagel, or player 43, almost won that race. It's finally cleared out. 10 seconds left and player has possession. He just needs to hold this puck and they'll take home a second regulation win. And that will be exactly the case. The Southampton Seagulls take back-to-back 2-1 wins over the Ottawa Drifters. Holy moly. What a couple of games from Southampton. That was a crazy game. Raw talent across really all 6 periods. They looked like they were in the driver's seat. A couple of well-placed shots aside, that's about as good of a performance that you could want. We're on official 6, Jabba. You want to get your boys in here. We'll have the other ones clear out. And I think we'll just chuck you guys on red. I know it says you guys are on blue on the sheet, but it makes it a little bit easier on me to change some of this stuff. If you guys are on there. Shout out Amakir for making this little mod. That makes a lot of these steps so much easier. Also, shout out Toaster for the reskin loader that makes so much of the presentation of this possible. Demi for the rink, as well as Yeti. The jerseys were made by me as well, so I'll give myself a little shout out for that. We're going to have Vincennes in the blue jerseys for this game too. Pretty good contrast there. And then I need to figure out the scorebook, which might be a little bit more complicated. I'm hoping I just need to change that one file that log was showing me. Okay. I think we should be good. We're going to leave Ottawa in the red jerseys that they usually wear. Vincennes is going to wear their alternate blues. You can see Jabba rocking those. I need to change goalie as well. Toaster, if you're watching this, I would love for this to just be one step. I understand if they're different models, though. That does make sense. It's all changed up. Take a look at the starting rosters. We stay the same for the Ottawa Drifters. It looks like Katie might be starting this second match, replacing Jondi. A couple of missing names for the Vincennes Vix. Smasher is in the lobby now. I'd imagine it would be Smasher, Tony Flo, who is Flohei Otani, Jabba, Jabrina Carpenter, and Austin, Dickie Becker. Really appreciate Vincennes just sticking to their usual names, you know. It just makes it so much easier. Same with you guys on Ottawa as well. In case you missed it, game one or match one of the stream was Ottawa versus Southampton. Southampton Seagulls came away with wins 2-1 in both games. They come away with a full 6 points. And Ottawa, pointless so far this season. This was the originally scheduled match for Tuesday that we're playing right now. It was moved back due to some player absences. I believe Smasher wasn't going to be there, if I remember correctly. We are underway in game one. Jabba fires it deep into the Ottawa end. Zub up to hijinks. We saw a lot of attempts at deep passes. A very vertical game from Ottawa in their first match. Not a lot of time to make adjustments in between these two. So we'll see if that strategy serves them a little bit better against the defensive pairing of Jabba and Austin than it did against Demi and Doug. Pass inside to Guy. He's got room to skate this. Looking for hijinks. Zub got hit somewhere in the middle of all that. Glenn will keep possession. Fires it deep. Average makes a save. Hijinks. Pass into the middle. Back into the corner. Hijinks. What a move to get around Austin here. Cuts to the middle. Gets it around. They can't find the back of the net. The same play that cost Ottawa a couple of goals in match one does not give them luck in game two. That one could not have been any closer. Average making the save on the batted puck. Austin helping his goalie out, but is a barrage from Ottawa early on. Austin finally getting that puck in the neutral zone. Pass off to Flohei Otani. Looking to break the hearts of Ottawa like he did to Toronto in the World Series. Smasher cuts in. Open chance. Katie makes a save. Katie getting her first start in the cage for Ottawa this season. Smasher gets it to Tony Flo. It hits the side of the net like 4 times and doesn't go in. A couple of double hits in there for Tony, but he can't find Twine. Cleared out, or at least it will be, from Guy. Pass inside. Hijinks. Can't beat Smasher. Doesn't get out of their own zone. Glenn finally with some space. Has some room to cut back if he so chooses. Fakes it and goes low. Jabba will win this race. Fire deep into the zone. Smasher is there for the catch. Tried to rush the pass to Tony Flo. I would like to see him be a bit more patient there, as he didn't have any pressure on him. It's so easy for me to say sitting up here, not playing in this league. I'm sure the best players in the world don't have a clue at what they're doing. Hijinks looking to win this race with Austin, but he'll knock it all the way down. Guy controlling it. Blocked by Tony Flo. Smasher stops on a dime. Dekes out literally everyone and scores. Smasher opens the scoring on a textbook play we have become accustomed to over the last 2 seasons. Beats both defenders, rips one by Katie, who barely even saw that puck. Smasher finds his, won't be his first goal of the season, I would imagine. But we don't have stats from that first game. So I'm going to say that it was his first goal of the season for dramatic effect. Really have that sell. Glenn catches this puck, leaves it for Zub. Ottawa goes down for the 3rd game in a row early. They've been playing from behind just a little bit too much tonight. Zub with the chip inside. Hijinks wanting to go back to Zub. Cut off by Austin. Smasher has this puck across to Jabba. Jabba with Tony Flo on the far side. Will give the pass to space. Up the wall to Smasher. Smasher wanting to gather some room. Gives it to Austin. The challenge isn't quick enough. Jabba cutting in. Room to skate now. Inside to Smasher. Backdoor, not there. Smasher still has it. And he'll keep possession here again. Ottawa having trouble finding the puck here. Austin cutting in far side. That pass will be wide and Glenn will pick it up. But it's just given right back to Vincennes. Around the net it goes. Smasher up to Tony Flo. Bobbles it. Hijinks. Fires it over to Zub. And that'll be period number 1. We're really seeing the same issues, I think, from Ottawa as we did see in the Southampton series. They're struggling to keep possession of the puck. And they're struggling to get the puck from the opposition. Couple of plays where they're just trying to force passes that aren't there. And these guys have too much talent to be trying to force plays. We saw Hijinks in that first game completely erase one of the defenders from the equation before a goal. They have the ability. They just got to trust themselves here. Good deke from Jabba. Don't see that too often from Jabba. But he beat Zub and tried to get a shot off. Speaking of the man, it's batted into the zone by Zub. Austin will pick it up. Across the ice, 2-on-1 here for Vincennes. Smasher stops, looking for the same play with a pass at the end. It's off the post from Tony. Has Smasher in front, cut off by Guy. Could be a chance for a counterattack. Guy, pass to Zub, inside. Dekes scores. Zub gets around average, finding the tying goal. That pass inside from Guy, you just catch it there. Perfectly placed, perfectly timed, gave Zub enough time to deke out the goalie. I should mention, we do have one change from the usual starting rosters of these teams, aside from Katie not being in net for Ottawa. Vincennes' first goalie pick of Milk is not here tonight. That's why Average is in net. Smasher going to win this race against Hijinks. He'll look to play it slow in the corner. Gets a favorable bounce. Works it inside. Beats Hijinks. Tony Flo back pass. What on earth? Almost worked, but Tony Flo couldn't find the touch. Guy, can he get the body position to capitalize on that great juggle? No, he can't. And Jabba slows it right back down. Another 2-on-1 though. For Vincennes. Austin across to Smasher. Oh, he just can't get it by Katie. Couple of chances there. Tony Flo looking to bury it. Katie, stalwart on the post. Shuts down that chance. Ottawa has definitely had a much better performance in this first game than they did against Southampton. Another shot from Zub in the second chance. It was Guy that had it as I mix up those two once again. Guy carries it right across the middle of the ice and fires a well-placed shot on Average, who just slides a bit too much to be able to recover. And it's 2-1 Ottawa. I mentioned in the first set that I would like to see Guy with a little bit more in the way of possession. And that's why. Both of these goals caused by Guy carrying that puck through the neutral zone and finding some plays. Smasher turning, wanting a play, goes through Austin and over to Jabba. If someone... the first Drifters goal was Zub, Prince. If someone could update me on what the score in in the Vincennes Albany game was, that would be lovely. I'm not sure how Vincennes is feeling coming into this game. Tony Flo is feeling excellent, though. That shot gets by Katie and ties us back up at 2. I mean, he just kind of carries this puck, and Glenn just doesn't keep to his man. They try and switch coverage. It's not like he skates away without a purpose, but maybe a little bit of a miscommunication from Ottawa. And it's a tie game once again. Down low. Austin fires it up. Smasher grabs it in a Russian. He's going to have a hard time beating Zub here, but he has body position. Spin, pass, knocked away by Hijinks. Beautiful bat. Reaction time and precision on point. Jabba fires it up to Austin. He has Smasher backdoor, opts for the shot, saved by Katie, rebound dealt with just as cleanly. Average out of his net to play this one. Fired up to Smasher. It's fired back down, and Average will get active once more, getting the cardio in. Maybe a little bit ill-timed, and it'll be a bit of a panicked clear, giving him time to get back to his net. Zub, spinning, finds Guy. Back to Zub. Beautiful passing from the Drifters. Jabba will eventually get this puck. Wins a 50 on the boards. Chip over to Smasher. Down low. Stopped by Hijinks. Tony Flo still has it, looking for a second goal. Couple of chances on it, and it goes in. Tony Flo, a goal scorer, finds his second of the night off of a rebound, and that one, oh Christ. That one's going to get some accusations towards Toronto there. I don't know if that one crossed the line completely, but we go off of what the game says here. And Ottawa, just after taking their first lead in both of their matches combined, Now finds themselves down to Vincennes once again, and this is a 2-on-0 with 20 seconds left. Jabba gets beat by Katie. Chance for a counterattack, perhaps, in the dying seconds of period number 2. Glenn can't get around Jabba. It's Zoob to take it up. Smasher will win the race to this one. Another breakaway in the dying seconds. There's not enough time for this. Surely, shot wide. And the buzzer sounds for the end of period number 2. Shots are 7-6, with about a third of those going in. A little over a third of those going in, actually. High scoring affair. Certainly a high scoring affair here. I'm trying to get the results. And yeah, Albany beat Vincennes 2-1 and 5-2 in their matchup earlier tonight. That second loss especially a little bit rattling for Vincennes, who has some young talent. I mean, Average and Smasher, still young guns in this game, certainly, in the D1 context. Glenn, backdoor to Guy, shot in! What a play from the Ottawa Drifters to tie this one up once more. Hijinks finds Glenn. Glenn with a beautiful seeing eye pass, bar down from Guy. Tie game 3-3. The goals piling up for both sides. Neither team willing to back down, but neither team willing to put up a block and stop some of these punches from coming in. Hijinks gets beat by Jabba, who knocks it into the zone. Smasher and Hijinks giving chase. It'll be 29 to knock it aside. Glenn with an awkward touch. This one could be a chance for Jabba, but it's taken away. Good win by Tony Flo on the sidewall. 4 minutes remaining in period number 3 in game 1 of this 2-game set. Hijinks spins, moves it out of the zone. Austin takes it, moves it to Smasher. Smasher stops on a dime once more. Those plays out of the corner, where he makes his money. It's why he went so high in that draft in the first place. That is a beautiful pass there. I believe that was Guy who launched that one. Good block by Hijinks as well. That's the second time he's had a little bit of a shutdown stick high up in the rafters of this building. Launched over the net by Vincennes. Back pass off target. Austin laying the hit to open up some space for Average. Finds Tony Flo. It'll be 3-on-2 in the zone until Glenn can get back. Hijinks. Back pass. Miscommunication. Smasher takes it inside. Blocked by Guy. Good play there from Smasher. Trying to cut down the defense. Guy doesn't commit and makes a great defensive stop. Glenn finding Guy once more on one of those long passes. He is one of the game's premier playmakers for a reason. Playmaker of the season in season 1. Smasher, 2-on-1 here. Zoob plays it well and takes the puck away. Smasher working behind the net, double teamed. Jabba with some space. Chip shot, tipped, almost goes to Smasher on the back door. Katie got across, and Smasher wasn't able to capitalize. Austin, down low to Tony Flo. Wants to go back to Austin instead, puts it on net. Has options, gets it around Zoob. Zoob recovers and moves it to Hijinks. Hijinks wanting to work around Jabba. Finds Guy streaking through the middle. Shot saved by Average and knocked aside. Beautiful rebound control from D1's newest goalie. Guy finds Hijinks, another stop from Average off the tip. Smasher with a chance. Katie well out of the crease. Has to be careful here and does well not to panic and gives it off to Zoob, the captain. coming through for the Ottawa Drifters. Glenn wanting the bat. Average moves it to the side. Austin with the chip. Knocked away by Ottawa. And Average. Stretch pass to Smasher. Awkward bounce there. And he won't be able to get control. Pushed forward. Austin, with time and space to think about this play, he finds Smasher. Smasher cuts in. Has options. Can't use them. So does Glenn, but he can't get that pass through. Jabba moves it low now. Back up to Glenn. Glenn steps in. Out in front. Hijinks was the wrong hand for that. A good chance gone to waste. 30 seconds left in period 3. Zub looking for time, looking for space, looking for a goal. That used to come easy, but now Average has put together a strong performance here in the third period to keep this game tied. Last chance for either of these teams to try and force a regulation win, one that both of them need badly. Neither of these teams with a point through their first 2 games, and they won't come away with 3 in game 1 of the second match. We'll need overtime here. The good news for both of these teams is, you're going to come away with at least a point. Nobody's going to be pointsless through 4 games. But the bad news, obviously, is you're probably looking at a 5th place or 6th place start to the season, which is far from ideal. We head into overtime here in game 1. Tied up at 3. Shots are 10-7 for Ottawa. It's launched down the ice. Hijinks cuts it off and turns. Pass across to Guy. Has Zub on the drop. Tries to go to Hijinks instead. Hijinks looking for Glenn. This could spring a breakaway chance for Smasher. Tony Flo getting in the way of Zub. Not enough. Zub finds a touch on that puck and perhaps saves this game for Ottawa. For how long, though, remains to be seen. Tony Flo looking for the ramp. Stopped by Katie. Smasher coming around the other side. Shot by Austin goes wide. Glenn with the chip. Jabba's there. Launches it in. That one's wide, but it could be tipped on top of the net. Glenn clears it and takes it away. He has Guy on the far side, but tried to get fancy with Smasher. Smasher trying to get fancy in his own right. Neither of those attempts working. Zub leaves it for Guy. Guy up the ice. Pass across to Hijinks. Flip pass. Smasher cuts it. Zub pushes it into the zone. Jabba launches it across. Up high into the rafters. Smasher has it. Can't quite find his feel with those dekes. Austin will have to turn. Finds Smasher. Glenn has it. Does anyone have control? It looks like it's Ottawa. Shot saved by Average. It's on the goal line and they can't put it away. Average again sliding a bit too far away for his own liking. That one isn't punished like the first one was. And it'll be cleared away by Austin. We're still goalless in overtime. 3-3 in this game. Guy with some room and Glenn knocked away by Austin, springing a one-on-one for Smasher against Zub. Best on best shot saved by Katie. Sliding to the left to make that blocker save. Zub chips it over the top of Smasher. Smasher looking to regain possession. Back pass, unsuccessful. Vincennes will regain it. Smasher slowing the game down to a pace that he is at his best. Finds Jabba on the far side. That chip over the middle will do nothing but lose them possession. as Ottawa will come back. Numbers for Vincennes shouldn't be an issue. Hijinks, the 50 goes careening across the ice. Shot down low. Hijinks almost found that tip. Pass out to Glenn, and he just wasn't ready for it. Smasher. One-on-one again. He beats Guy. Has a chance at a shot. Saved by Katie once more. Smasher has had so many opportunities in this game. Katie has shut down a lot of them. Smasher around. Looking for options. Wanting a pass out in front. What a pass from Smasher. And Tony Flo seals it. Smasher decides that Katie had his number. They needed an answer. And Tony Flo is there. Beautiful pass. Tony Flo seals it. And Vincennes finds their first win of the season in overtime. What a win. Holy. What a game. 7-goal game? Why on earth have you seen that before in puck? And don't say against the Red Deer Caribou, because that was assumed in Season 1. I'll take a quick look at the stats for that game. Tony Flo with a hat trick. Guy with 2 goals. Points all across the board pretty much. We'll see John D come back into the net in replacement of Katie for this second game of the set. John D had a couple of strong showings against Southampton, but a lot of bad bounces for him in those 2 games. Kind of cost them. I think everyone has a lot of reason to be confident, though. We're going to get underway in Game 2. If anyone could update me on the other stream scores for RMR and Halifax, that would be fantastically appreciated. Katie, you played brilliantly in that overtime. I don't think you got a whole lot to be ashamed of there. Guy cutting in. Looking to start off this game well. Saved by Average. And again, great rebound control from Average. Getting a second touch on that puck to throw off the attackers. John D coming out for this one. And around for Hijinks. Hijinks launches it far. Jabba is there. Chipped over the top. And Tony Flo will fire it on. Glenn cuts in. Wants to move this puck. The shot wide of the net. Guy down low. Fired over the top. All the way down. Thank you, Dalton. 2-0 Halifax so far in Game 2. Over the Rocky Mountain Reapers. Smasher, nice stop on the boards. Again, just so effective in the corner and at slow speeds. Hijinks. Good job trying to break it out, but Smasher takes it in on net. Dekes in. Good save from John D. Shutting down Smasher's best attempt of Game 2 so far. Pass up to Glenn. He'll try and spark the offense for Ottawa. Smasher's there. Misses on the flip. Hijinks to Guy. Good turn and a beautifully placed pass. Allows Guy to come in with some speed, and that shot just wide. As Guy eats the crossbar. That pass gets through, actually, to Tony Flo. Shot just wide. John D looked like he got a piece of that coming out of his net. And again, another good save from John D. Zub cuts in, blocked by Austin. Austin fires it up. Smasher blocked. Jabba is not. Tony Flo, backdoor. looking for the shot. Couldn't find the back of the net. Couldn't find the front of the net for that matter. Tony wanting the bat from Smasher. Good job by Glenn interrupting the shot from Austin. Glenski inside. Can't find it. Hijinks chips it high. Glenski, nice turn. Zub a little bit off on his receive. Austin across to Flohe Otane, who had a hat trick in game 1, wanting a little bit of a long shot goal. Can't get those ones by John. That one, on the other hand, could have beaten him if it was on target. High up into the rafters here at the PHL Arena. It'll come back down in the possession of Austin. Around the net. Smasher diving for it. Can't get it. Austin up to Tony Flo, looking to spring a 2-on-1. Glenn knocks it right back from whence it came. Chaba up to Austin. Over to Tony Flo. Tony Flo, shot, save, rebound. That one's wide as well. John D able to shut down the offensive pairing of Tony Flo and Smasher so far in game 1. Or game 2. Vincennes with a whopping 5 shots early on in this first period. Only 1 in response from Ottawa. Glenski wanting to change that. Moves it near side, wanting to pass across to Guy. 30 seconds in period 1. Zub. Will he cut back? Nope, he'll opt to use Hijinks on the far side. We're seeing Hijinks a bit further back in this second match. Last chance here on the forecheck from Glenn. Austin will knock it aside. Smasher gets body position. Last chance at a shot. Off the post and out. Great final opportunity from Smasher. And it was just a little bit wide. It's a game of inches, unfortunately, and that one just couldn't find it. Hello, Aguchi. Game 1 was won by Vincennes 4-3 in overtime. Good to see you out here, buddy. We also had 2 matches between Southampton Seagulls and the Ottawa Drifters. Southampton won both of those matches 2-1 in regulation. It means Ottawa's looking still for their first win of the season, losing their first 3. It's very early on, so it's not like this is must-win territory, but you really want to find at least one in that first week. Have something for your team to kind of rally behind. Austin, 50 with Guy. Smasher leaves it for Jabba. Hijinks again with a great stick. We've seen that as a running theme. Any chips by him are usually intercepted. Lettuce would be proud of the man, let me tell you. Tony Flo across to Jabba, springing a 2-on-1 for the Vickers. Jabba shot saved by John. They really need Smasher to be up here taking these shots. They're getting good chances, but it's not really dynamic just yet. Austin with Smasher in the middle, wanting to go between the legs for that pass. Jabba moves it around Glenn. Around Zub. In tight. Knocked away. Been a bit of a slower and a much calmer game 2 so far. We had 6 goals in the first 2 periods of game 1. We have not gotten there yet. Back pass intercepted by Jabba. Tony Flo, pass all the way up to Smasher. They really want Smasher to have these one-on-one chances. And they get him here. Off the pads of John. Tony Flo can't turn sharply enough to try and get that one. Chip pass knocked aside. It looked like Smasher got that one. Tony Flo leaves it for Jabba. Jabba across, but he didn't have a man turning in. Smasher will retain possession. He wants that drop pass to Austin, but it's read well by Glenn. Glenn with Guy cutting into the middle. Zub up top. He'll give it to Zub, but that puck just kind of floats on his stick. The shot finally comes in on average. He makes an easy pad save. Glenn outside, wanting a pass to Guy. Hijinks, moving it low. Good possession here from Ottawa. It's finally tipped out of the zone, only momentarily. Austin with a little bit of time. Fires it up to Smasher, who's in double coverage, and that just was not going to work. Not against Glenn and Guy. Shot, knocked aside by average. Chip to Tony Flo. Tony Flo wanting to go inside, shot wide. Smasher backdoor! And that one was saved by the stick of John D. Good reactions there. Hijinks. Chip all the way up. Batted just wide. Inside, can't find it. Zub brings it low. Good 50 win. Spring Smasher once more. Wanting that goal, and John makes a pad save, and even Smasher has to give props to the Ottawa netminder for that pad stop. Good drop to Guy from Glenn. Leaves it for Hijinks. Fires it deep. Glenn wanting the tip, but is a little bit out of his reach. Hijinks coming through the middle. That'll be the target, and it's just wide on the shot. Back pass. Only finds Tony Flo. Tony Flo with room to shoot. Fired. Saved by John once more. And the pass out in front, Zub was there to pick it off. Not a great pass from Guy, though. Tony Flo brings it low. Trying for the wrap. Spins. But can't find the puck. Austin keeps it in. Tony Flo on it once more. Chip low. Using his body to keep Zub away from this one. It's up the wall to Jabba at the blue line. Inside, Tony Flo almost found the shot. Jabba's there. If Smasher wanted a passing option, he tried to fake out Zub. That one will go down the length of the ice, and average will get active once more to clear it out. Looking to keep Ottawa on their toes at the end of the second, to no avail. It's still 0-0 in game 2. Take a look here at some of the stats. A much more even possession total. For Ottawa as compared to their 2 games in the first match. Same can be said for Vincennes. Shots are a little bit lopsided. Vincennes leading that category 10-3 after getting beat on shots in game 1. But John D has stopped everything that's come his way. Jabba below the goal line. Up the wall to Austin. Austin moves it to Tony Flo. Wanting the shot. Saved by John. It's back up to the point. Austin backdoor, no one was home. Smasher cuts around 1. Around 2. Glenn comes in from the neutral zone to help his partners out. To knock that one away. Good stop and move from Glenn. Hijinks up the middle, cut off by Jabba. They just haven't been able to find that pass to the middle of the ice yet. Have Ottawa. That's kind of the play that they've been going for. They want to create some speed through the neutral zone for one of their forwards. Smasher in. Pass. Knocked aside by John D. Good board bounce. Gives Smasher the boost he needed to pick this puck up. He has Tony Flo cutting in. Smasher trying to take on the world and damn near succeeds. That pass up to Glenn. Russian Looking for something fancy. He has it, actually. Into the middle. Saved by Austin. Hijinks looking for something similar. That one blocked by Average and net, but the rebound finds its way home. Hijinks with the goal on a really awkward bouncing puck. Hijinks able to come in for his own rebound, really. Yeah, he just kind of swipes the puck off of Guy's stick. One nothing Ottawa. 3 minutes left to go in the third period of game 2. If you're just joining us, Vincennes won game 1, 4-3 in overtime, able to pick up 2 points from that matchup. The other point going to Vincennes, or to Ottawa, I should say. Vincennes picking up 2 points. That one fired up the middle. It actually finds Tony Flo on the breakaway, saved by John once more. He's faced a lot of rubber in all 3 of his games so far. But luckily, he has been up to the task. Smasher off the crossbar. More left-rights. Finding success for Smasher, but the finishing touches just aren't there. John leaves that puck for Zub, who has Hijinks on the far side. That'll be the target for this pass. Poked through the middle. Jabba spinning with it. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the third period. Jabba, a little bit panicked. Guy will take advantage. Shot saved by Average. That's 4 shots, I think, in this second game for a Guy out of a 5 for Vincennes. The other one being Hijinks' goal. Glenn with a shot off the post, stays on the line for a second before being frantically cleared out by the Vickers. Hijinks will pass this around the net to Zub. He has Glenn on the far side waiting for a chance to be sprung into action. Double commit by the defense. They bump each other. Passes through the middle. The guy isn't on target. It goes off the tip of the stick. That's just not good enough. Hijinks spinning. Wanting options. Drop pass to Zub behind the net. They're going to look to take some time off of this clock. All the way down the ice. Glenn catches it. Can't get his feet moving. Does get a 50 against Jabba. Smasher has to beat Guy here. He waits. Glenn wins the 50. Cuts in. Can't find anything. It's Guy once more. Shot just high and wide. Glenn can't find it. He's looking for anything, but really all that Ottawa has to do is waste the clock. Smasher up to Jabba. Vincennes, one of their last opportunities to find the back of the net, shut down by Guy. Average wanting that feed. Where's he going to go with it? It gets tipped anyways, but it does find Jabba. Austin taking it in. Pass over to Smasher. Oh, it just goes off the heel. He still has it though. Still a chance for Vincennes. Back to Jabba. 10 seconds. They got to hustle for this. Turn and put it on net and hope for the best. And it's blocked by Guy, and that will do it in game 2. A 1-0 regulation win for the Ottawa Drifters. Their first win of the season. They come away with 3 points out of a possible 6. Or 4 points out of a possible 6 with that OT loss as well. And we get a last-minute plea from Guy to add offside to the game. It might be a conversation for Season 4. We'll see. We'll do a quick recap of the action from tonight. And then if the other stream is still going, I'll let you guys get over there. We had Southampton Seagulls and Ottawa Drifters in match number 1. 2-1 for Southampton in both games. Vincennes and Ottawa was match number 2. Game 1 was a 4-3 overtime win for Vincennes. Game 2 was a 1-0 Ottawa win. And that will be it from me. I am patiently waiting on the results from Halifax and Rocky Mountain. It does look like that stream is over. But you'll be able to see those results on the master sheet in the announcements channel if you so please. But that will be it for me tonight. It was a hell of a lot of fun hosting this. Shout out Log and all the production team members, Deflator, for coming up with a lot of the assets that we use. Of course, shout out to anyone who helped out with any mods that were used on this stream. Yeah, that's about it. We'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow for some D3 action. We'll see if we can't get a couple of streams up for that. But if not, it might be until Monday when you see us next on the PHL channels. Thank you all again for joining us and have an excellent night.